BigTruDat, Late Bloomer Podcast. We up early with it. As y'all know, we covered the Julio Fulio situation, young and age. You know, we tap in. We from the South, so we gonna tap in for some of these South subjects, right? So this morning, man, I'm with y'all. We finna run a little coverage. We're gonna run some coverage from the K-Oso trial, man. This is Young and Ace friend out of Jacksonville, Florida. Kendra Cartier, what going on? You know, Young and Ace supposed to be him and Julio Fulio was tight. I mean, not damn. Apologize. Young and Ace and K-Oso supposed to be best friends. So I'm just tapping into the trial. We're gonna do a little reaction this morning. And once y'all come in, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button and go check out me and Miss Cartier interview. Y'all go check that shit out on YouTube right now. Go check it out, go check it out, go check it out, go check it out. Appreciate you tapping in this morning. First one in. But we just doing reactions this morning. Reactions from the trial. K-Oso murder trial. His father's supposed to be testifying against him. They supposed to went on the drill together. And his father said, fuck it. Mr. Whitaker. Miss Cartier, what you know about this? What you know about Jacksonville, Florida?
Was shot in a strip mall by a lone gunman. There will be no question about that. You will watch the videotape. There will also be no question whatsoever. Leroy Whitaker did not pull that trigger. Leroy Whitaker had nothing to do with the death of Charles McCormick. That's what the evidence will show. You're gonna watch a video of Charles McCormick being chased down and shot. The shooter, the lone gunman in that video is not Leroy Whitaker. So how are we here?
Real raw.
Why are we here?
Yes, you can believe it.
Everything changes. See, before we come into this room, the state of Florida has the absolute power, the choice, the prerogative to charge or not charge whoever they want. But once we come in here to our Hall of Justice, they must prove
Judge Tatiana Salvador.
They must prove their
Tatiana Katamale.
And I urge you.
Yeah, this case here crazy.
Right now, in the notebooks that were provided to you, a little topic I suggest to you.
This case here wild, man.
Evidence of Leroy Whitaker's
especially when the father.
In this murder.
Everything I'm saying for entertainment purposes alleged, but when the father do some shit with you, then go turn you in, or try to turn you in, he raw.
One name,
that nigga, they're hard.
Dominique Barner. That's it. That is it. The state star witness of which their house of cards in their allegations against Mr. Whitaker will collapse. Dominique Barner, an admitted two-time killer, paid for, self-proclaimed, paid for assassin. Dominique Barner will waltz into this courtroom and he will try to fill the blatant holes in the state's case. Their star witness will explain to you.
I think they talking about the father.
Well, on January 15th, the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office hauls me in. See, I don't just have tattoos on my arms. I Jacksonville Sheriff's Office was able to put together a photo spread within hours of Barbara Buckley's home being invaded by Dominique Barner. And lo and behold, she was, in no uncertain terms, you're going to meet her. She's going to tell you all. Dominique Barner sure scared me. Dominique Barner came into my home. Dominique Barner choked me out. Dominique Barner got me to the point where I just kind of finally faked passing out and sat on my couch and then ultimately smoked a cigarette.
That's some shit.
Dominique Barner was caught. And here
we down here in Jacksonville with it, y'all. The ATK KOso on trial.
Said, oh, I need to tell all my sins. All I need to confess. That's not what the evidence is going to show. What you're going to learn is that Dominique Barner came in on January 15th and he told just enough about himself to get him off his case. So let him go. He's still in jail, but he's not charged with murder yet. But then you're going to hear, as the murders pile up, see, there's this pesky second murder that you'll hear Dominique Barner wasn't been part of, has admitted to premeditating, has admitted to pleading to that
Top
charge.
of the morning, Miss Muffin, we down here in Jacksonville with it.
Bystander gets killed. Because unfortunately, Dominique Barner misses who he was really gunning for.
KOso,
Interestingly enough,
Young and Ace best friend on trial. One of the star witnesses is supposed to be his father in the case. Everything I'm saying is for entertainment purpose, allegedly. They went on a drill together and, the father got caught and gave up the sons.
I need to do
That's where we at with
what
it.
I do. I'll cooperate. See, by the time that Leroy Whitaker and Dominique Barner started spending any time together, Dominique Barner had already got his first cooperation against somebody completely different out of the way. Because that's what he does. Abdul Robinson Sr., same thing. Abdul Robinson Sr. has been cooperating
Yes, Abdul
since
Robinson
before
Sr.
Leroy Whitaker was born. That's what the evidence will show.
Shit, that man, Daddy Abdul Robinson Sr., that's him right there.
One and only piece of evidence the state will even attempt
Shit.
to convince you that Leroy Whitaker
Shit.
had any part
Mr. Barnes.
in the death of Charles McClure.
Shit. Tell me I ain't no way.
You're going to hear from Barbara Buckley,
Shit.
and I'll tell you up front.
And my daddy said, hell no,
She's
son.
feisty.
I can't go down.
Pulls anything over her eyes. And she's going to walk in and she's going to honestly talk to you about that morning. How it was just a normal morning. How she sees two people in her house. And she says in very colorful language, get out of my house. Dominique Barner didn't accept that. And then was violent with her. And because of that, she was able in no uncertain terms, with confidence, with 1993, and
Yeah, this happened a couple years ago.
she picks him out. Dominique Barner did that. The second person, the other person in her home,
So this,
she can't identify.
and we gonna get into, let me see when
What will the state try to rely on? Dominique Barner.
okay. So now I'm finna bring up the defense
Abdul Robinson Sr.
when they was talking about him.
learned the system.
He got a good lawyer now. It's a good defense team on it. Full opening giant.
May it please the court.
Here we go.
Closing counsel, members of the jury. Good afternoon. This is the first opportunity that I have had to speak with you directly. So I wanted to take this opportunity to reintroduce myself to you. My name
And it's also, I think this is a death penalty case also.
We have the honor and privilege of representing Hakeem Robinson.
Hakeem Robinson.
Now, the
That's
government
KO
just got
so.
up there and told you that they're going to prove to you, beyond and to the exclusion of all reasonable doubt, that Hakeem Robinson is the person who shot and killed Charles McCormick on January 15th of 2020.
2020.
For members of the jury,
There goes the
they are not going
timestamp
to be
in
able
month
to
of
do that
2020.
because Hakeem Robinson is innocent. And you are going to be able to see that for yourselves. That there is no way that Hakeem Robinson is the person that shot and killed Charles McCormick. In order to try and prove their case, they're going to ask you to do something that I've never seen before. They're going to ask you to not believe your eyes.
She said they're going to actually do something that she ain't never seen before.
Focused on unleashing American oil from North Dakota and Montana. We've already...
They're going to ask you to ignore what you see right in front of you.
Right.
Because as the government just told you, there's a video recording of this homicide. And you're going to be able to see it. And you're going to be able to watch it. You are going to see a person, someone, covered from head, or whatever's on top of his head, to toe. Completely covered. Chase down Charles McCormick in broad daylight and shoot him to death. And this was done in front of a bunch of witnesses. And the most important question in this case is going to be, who, fingerprints and DNA?
Oh, shit, my bad. Fuck some shit
To
up.
the exclusion of all reasonable doubt, that Hakeem Robinson is the person who shot and killed Charles McCormick on January 15th of 2020. For members of the jury, completely covered.
Alright, here we
Chase
go.
down Charles McCormick in broad daylight and shoot him to death. And this was done in front of a bunch of witnesses. And the most important question in this case is going to be, who is the shooter? Who is the shooter? Members of the jury, that is the shooter.
Who the shooter?
That is a still shot from the video that you will get. You will be presented with this during the course of this trial. And what these prosecutors are going to ask you to do is to find that Hakeem Robinson, who's clearly well above 6 feet tall and a heavy set person, and was like that 5 years ago, is that person. And it's not just that. They are going to ask you to ignore the descriptions given by each and every person that saw the shooter live. And members of the jury, these witnesses, each and every one of them, are going to give you a description somewhere between 5'5" and 5'11".
5'5",
The other description
5'11".
they're going to give you, each of these
They
witnesses
did a
that
body
saw this
scan on
person,
him to prove it was him.
slim, slender, thinner. And all those witnesses, they're going to ask you, the government, these
What's a body
unbiased
scan, Ms.
witnesses,
Muffin?
discredit them. Don't believe them. They were wrong. The witnesses that they're going to ask you to believe are the ones who are actually involved in this murder. That's right. One by one, they are going to be walking them in here, some of them through that back door. Each one of them, hoping and praying to get some benefit from them. The people that hold all of the power to charge someone, to arrest someone, to drop charges.
Right, that's why you gotta do this shit. This why you gotta do this shit by yourself, man. This one of them, man. You could be no face, no. It supposed to be no face, no case.
One piece of reliable.
But here it goes, man. You could be covered up. I'm talking about all the way down. I'm telling you, man. I can say this because of shit, man. I'm telling you, man. Bust ass nigga, man. Go back to what I was trying to, like, facial recognition, but they did it with body. He was trying not to get it done. Oh.
5 years ago was wrenched from his family, his life, and his
body recognition. I don't think you could just. I don't think you could. I don't think you could just.
And this is why I asked Hakeem Robinson.
So let me ask you this: is body recognition some alone to get you booked. I mean, it could get you booked, but is it enough to get you hooked? It can get you booked, but is it enough to get you hooked? With a good attorney. Just your body. And she come out right now, let you know, everybody said it was from 5'5" to 5'11". And this guy here is well over 6 feet. I had some similar shit. You see what I'm saying, man? Yeah, man.
To stand up in front of you and right now, members of the jury, because you may not have taken too much notice over the past 3 days. Each and every time you walked into the courtroom and you left and we stood up, you didn't realize at that time how important
I guess
it was
that's what
to
they
take a look
did,
at how
but he's
tall
saying
Hakeem
it
Robinson
wasn't
is
him.
and how big he is. But it is going to be the focal point of this trial.
She just said that, Miss
Because
Muffin.
once you watch that video,
It's gonna be the focal point of the trial.
Look at what is standing right in front of you, and it was to take a look at how tall Hakeem Robinson is and how big he is. But it is going to be the focal point of this trial. Because once you watch that video in the entirety, and then you look at what is standing right in front of you, and you're going to get pictures and stuff around the time that this took place. He hasn't changed, despite what Mr. Cooper is telling you.
Like I said, it might have been enough to get him booked.
There will be no doubt in
but
your
with a
mind
good
that
lawyer,
he's
is it enough to keep him hooked?
that shot and kills Charles McCormick. So how do we get here? You can have a seat, Hakeem. How do we get here where a clearly innocent person is being accused of a crime that he did not commit? And it boils down to perception versus reality. Because you're going to see that Hakeem Robinson, he wasn't arrested until 9 months after the murder. And none of them realized how big he is until he was arrested. But by that time, instead of admitting to the mistake that they made and pulling back and doing an investigation to find out who really did it, they doubled down. And they started to build their case and their witnesses around the idea and the belief that it was Hakeem Robinson that was the shooter. Now, on 5 years ago, January 15, 2020, right on the
January 15, 2020.
Right before the COVID-19
Couple days before my birthday.
Charles McCormick woke up in the morning, headed to Employment Express Agency on
One day after Granny died, man, I never forget that shit there.
Little did he know that a man
Changed
named
my life.
Dominique Barno, and I'm going to say this name for the first time, I'm not sure why, the state didn't mention this to you, and his friend Chris Brown had been stalking Charles McCormick that day. Dominique Barno is the one who was checking his Instagram account to see if he was in town that day. Dominique Barno is the one who pulled up his address on the court clerk's website to find out where he lived. He is the one that then tried to track him down and kill him that morning. You will hear that the reason Dominique Barno decided...
So let me ask you this then, Ms. Muffin, or whoever in the chat. If she can debunk this hype thing, should he be able to go free? Top of the morning snoozing. If so much is keyed in on his height and the body recognition, if she can debunk it from he's 6'3", I mean, you can't confuse 6'3" or 6'2" rather with 5'5" and 5'11". If you ask me, which case is this? This is a K.O.S.O. case down there in Jacksonville, Florida. Young and Ace, best friend or one of his partners that he grew up with, rap with. Yes.
McCormick killed was all because of a song that he didn't like the lyrics to. The whole story that Mr. Cooper failed to
Yeah, they
mention
want
to
him
you
bad.
members of
This
the
is a
jury
case where his
is that
dad
Mr. Barno
testifying
was
against him.
I just didn't like
You know.
that he was singing something he didn't know about. That's the reason why Charles
And
McCormick
what
was
I'm
killed.
hearing,
And this man, members of the jury,
Miss Muffin just filled me in, and that's where the defense team is going with it. He basically locked up because of body recognition. His, you know what I'm saying? You couldn't prove it with with his face, or so they had to do body recognition. So like I was asking, if his lawyer can debunk that, then what? When they did it, they said it matched, but his daddy told, so he fucked regardless. They saying his daddy already a snitch. His daddy already done snitched on cases. You know?
The jury, Dominic Byrne,
Yeah.
the man who planned and orchestrated the murder of Charles McCormick, is going to be the government's star witness.
That go back to what me and Edward was talking about. A snitch can't get you locked up. I said, shit, they do. But then at the same time, it's why you snitching. It depends on what you snitching to get out of. His daddy was supposed to be in on it. So that means he has something to gain from snitching. You see what I'm saying? So he might not be as credible.
In a hearing in front of a judge.
Just being
and he's
real.
going to tell you the reason he did that? Because he wanted the defendant to go free so he could kill him himself.
That is their star witness who they're going to ask you to believe. Exactly. So
this man was caught red-handed within 24 hours of the murder of Charles McCormick. And months go by of him denying his involvement. And when he realized that who they thought the shooter was, Hakeem Robinson, he pounced on it. He was like, this is how I'm going to get out of here.
See, listen to it. He got a good lawyer,
He
man.
lied to the government to get what he wanted.
Got a good lawyer.
Which is the hope of freedom. All he had to do and all he had to say was that Hakeem Robinson is the person behind that mask. And in exchange, I know Mr. Cooper was saying, oh, he's facing life. And that the judge hasn't sentenced him yet. But members of the jury, he's going to tell you the reasons he's doing this, because before this, he was facing mandatory life in prison. He would have died in prison. And in exchange for pointing the finger at Hakeem Robinson, he is hoping to get out in 20 years. Mind you, he's already served 5 of it. So in 15 years, he is hoping to go free. And Dominic Byrne, not going to be the only one. Another witness that they are going to put on this witness stand and ask you to believe, a man by the name of Abdul Robinson Sr.
Abdul Robinson Sr.
Blue. Now, Mr. Cooper got up here and told you that this man is Hakeem's father, his biological father. But the whole truth is, members of the jury, he's just Hakeem's DNA contributor.
It might be tough for
He
him.
has 9 other children by 5 different women that we know about. He's probably fathered a significant percentage of the men or women in Duval County. He was never involved in Hakeem's early life and only came around when Hakeem started to become a little recognized, a little famous with his music, and he started to make some real money. He actually tried to become Hakeem's manager. As you will learn in this trial, in 2020, Hakeem was a local celebrity. He was a rap musician. And you're going to see that it was Blue is going to do what he's doing in this case. He uses people, and he was trying to use Hakeem. He is using the prosecutors in this case to get out of the 2 murder cases that we know that he
She might just be making a good case, though. His ass might,
in this case.
She's just putting up a good fight for him.
Dominique Barnell called for help to pick him and the
But we don't know.
up after they had broken into Barbara Buckley's home. But what you're also going to hear, members of the jury, and what is most important, this is not the first time that Dominique Barner and Blue have done this. That's right. Dominique Barner and Blue are co-defendants in a completely separate.
See, did you know that, Miss Muffin? Did you know that the other 2 people?
And they're co-defendants in this case.
Did you know that the father and the other boy, I think that's his brother, co-defendants in another case?
And you're going to learn that Blue, this ain't his first time cooperating with law enforcement. He's done that before, so he has experience. He knows that when he's in trouble and he is caught, I say what the government wants to hear, I get out. He's done it before, and he's going to do it again. again in this courtroom. And what's more
So
troubling,
she attacking his credibility now.
in exchange for his testimony in this case, he is hoping to get 76 months. 76 months. He's already served 60. So in less than 2 years, he is hoping to be back on the streets of Duval County. Now, Mr. Cooper just got up there and said the testimony against Hakeem being involved in this murder is going to be corroborated by reliable evidence. It is not. None of the credible, reliable evidence that he's going to bring in here says that Hakeem Robinson is the guy in that picture. Another one of the witnesses that they're going to bring in front of you, another one that was in that little diagram that they showed, Torgon Williams. And this is even worse, members of the jury, because their own lead detective is going to tell you they've known for 5 years that Torgon Williams was involved in this homicide. Dominic Barlow, years ago, told them Torgon Williams was involved, but he gets a full pass. He's not walking through that door. He's walking through that door. Never been arrested, full-blown immunity for his testimony in this case. And you wonder, wait, why would that happen 5 years later? Well, that's because Torgon Williams last year got arrested for trafficking in meth. That's the first time he decided to come forward and go, hey,
I think it could be a case, though.
Prosecutors, I think I have information that you might want. And by this time, members of the jury, 4 years have passed.
Them songs, let's say this.
All over the internet.
Them songs don't make shit.
And see what they need.
Them songs don't make things better, Miss Muffin. But I feel like this too. Let's say everything I'm saying is for entertainment purposes, allegedly. But when men, let's say our niggas going back and forth, right? We rivaling it out. And if something happened to your ass and I know about it, I'm a rap about it. You know what I'm saying? I might not have did it, but just because I know about it, I knew it happened to you in the streets, I'm a rap about it. One of my partners or somebody, it ain't got to be close to me. It could be a nigga I know did it to your ass, and I know the logistics of it. I know how it went down. Then we rapping about it. So I think, that part of it could be like the perception of it. They rapping about it, but it might not. A lot of people rap about shit that ain't they work. So there could be definitely something that's going against him too. Do you think Young and Ace gonna come up in this case? Excuse me.
Needed to find out about what they needed to say.
Julio.
Statement against Hakeem Robinson. What did they do? They dropped his state case. Dismissed. No action. Then the federal government decided to pick up his case. And Mr. Williams, as they call him to testify, is going to tell you, well, I'm hoping that the feds are going to be a little lenient on me because I am helping in this homicide case. Not one of their witnesses, members of the jury that take the stand, that tried to point the finger at Hakeem Robinson, not one of them are unbiased. Each one of them that are going to walk in here have some angle. They either are trying to help themselves, to get themselves out of their trouble with the government, or something for a loved one. Each one of them that points the finger in some way, shape, or form to Hakeem Robinson is hoping to get something, and not something small. Freedom. But members of the jury, what Mr. DeCosta and I are going to ask you to do is to listen to the reliable, credible witnesses in this case. Because what you will see that all the reliable witnesses say was that actually the shooter, they actually saw them with his own eyes, as I told you before. Slim, slender, 5'8" to 5'11". Some of them say 5'5" to 5'8". Notice that not once, when Mr. Cooper was giving his opening statement, did he give you a description. I'm having to tell you that. And I'm talking about not just civilians, I'm talking about trained police officers. We'll talk about Officer Collins, the one who took chase. You notice when Mr. Cooper was talking to you? Oh, well, he was far away. He was jumping the fence and didn't get a good look. He's getting you guys ready to make excuses for why the description does not match Hakeem Robinson, and not even close. Officer Collins is a trained police officer, been doing this for 20 years, knows how to give information like that so that other people, other officers who are listening, he knows to give reliable information. He may come up in here now, 5 years later, and try to backpedal members of the jury. Not sure, I don't remember. But you remember what he said at the time.
So Ms. Muffin, basically, you think his ass guilty.
They don't match.
That's what I'm hearing.
And it's not just him. It's not just Officer Collins. You're going to hear from Officer Graham, another one who saw the shooter in this case. You know what his description was? 21-year veteran with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office, 5'8" to 5'10".
5'8" to 5'10".
Now, those are just the officers. Next, we're going to talk about the civilian witnesses. You're going to hear from Victor Cooper. Mr. Cooper mentioned him. He's the guy with the dash cam in his vehicle, the person that was probably the closest to the shooting, who, and he's right, by happenstance, just happened to have this video recording on his dash cam when this happened. But what did you not hear in the state's opening statement? Mr. Kruger gave a description. You want to know what that description was? 5'10" to 5'11", and he was thin. Clearly not Hakeem Robinson. Not the only one.
5'10" to 5'11".
Working to hit back sports in that strip mall described the shooter as 5'8" to 5'9" on the skinnier side. Then we've got Abera Mara, a woman who was in her garage having coffee in the morning, sees someone matching the shooter's description, jump a fence and walk right in front of her.
Getting taller though.
Performing on the biggest stage
Getting taller.
was just one step in my journey. Hi, I'm Ronnie.
She describes
I'm gonna say this though, on some real shit.
But the most important,
I'm gonna say this too though. Will you? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that's how he be looking. Ooh, we rap this so you don't know. I know some people be capping in their rap. That's true. I'm gonna also say this too though. When you over 6 feet, like me personally, I can't tell your height if you under 6 feet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a height thing to me. If you under 6 feet, I don't really know your height. I haven't been 5 shit in so long that it's hard for me to judge that. But if I see a person in the 6 feet range, then I can kind of, what you about, 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", I can know 6'9" with 7 feet. I know that. And I also had people that come up to me and, you know, how tall are you? And I done got a lot of 6'2s, 6'3s. People done been off 5, 6 inches before. You know, it's very seldom that I had in my lifetime. I probably can count on both hands for sure that somebody walked up to me and been like, because I get asked this question a lot. It make me feel like I'm tired. I'm like, damn, it's other tired people out here though, but on 10 fingers, both hands is probably about the amount that people done got this shit right. Like, what you 6'8"? Other than that, it's been wrong. And I get asked this question, you know what I'm saying? At least I get asked this question daily. Just out and about, especially if I'm moving around, somebody gonna ask me, damn, you tall. How tall are you? And there you go. And then shit. And my normal response is, how tall you think I am?
Renato Boston. If you recall when Mr. Cooper was talking, he mentioned that the shooter ran through some woods and came out on the other side, and that magically Natalie Gant was there to pick up the shooter because she knew where he was. He didn't mention what Renata Boston described the shooter to look at because she saw him come out of the woods. Slim build, 5'8" to 5'9", between 160 to 170 pounds. That is not even close to Hakeem Robinson. Multiple independent civilian witnesses, multiple police officers, all describing someone that could not possibly be Hakeem Robinson. And all their testimony, all of them, the ones whose testimony is in
must be about
promise of freedom,
230 then. 230, 6'3", 6'4".
The only eyewitnesses that will say that the shooter is Hakeem are the ones who have cut deals with the government. And they're not going to just present these eyewitnesses to you. As Mr. Cooper said, they're going to present all this other stuff. But take a close look at the details of what they present to you.
What y'all eat for breakfast this morning? What's for breakfast? What's for breakfast?
Is going to be direct evidence that Hakeem Robinson is the shooter. Let's start with the cell phone evidence, because it's going to be a lot. All the records that they're going to produce to you, all the cell phone records that definitively show 100% Dominique Barker using his phone, Leroy Whitaker using his phone, Abdul Robinson Jr. using his phone, Abdul Robinson Sr. using his phone. All of them are communicating with each other. You know whose phone isn't being used? Or they don't have a record of being used at all? Hakeem Robinson. Mr. Cooper just got up here and told you that he's going to try to put a
Did you
phone
know
in
that, Miss
possession
Muffin?
of Hakeem Robinson, a phone number that begins with 478. You know whose phone that's registered to? Abdul Robinson Sr., aka Blues, former dead best friend. That phone is registered to his father, not to him. And you're going to see that that phone the day before was pinging in the same place that his father was. They're going to try to make you think and connect that phone to Hakeem Robinson, and they will be unable to do so. Next up, fingerprints and DNA. They're going to try to present you with DNA and fingerprint evidence trying to put Hakeem in that car.
Don't do crimes,
on
kid.
that day. But members of the jury,
Stay in school as long as possible, man. It's a real world out here. Even if you ain't fuck it, man. Just stay in school. Just not to get out here in these real streets so soon, man. This world is wicked, man. Stay in school till you're 30, goddammit. Shit.
That's a fact that we're not disputing. And what did Mr. Cooper fail to tell you? That DNA was found on a t-shirt that was in the car. It's not just Hakeem Robinson's DNA. The expert is going to tell you that it's mixed up with 3 other people that I don't know who it is that's on that shirt. Then they're going to tell you that, well, I'm going to tell you that the evidence will show that a man's DNA was found in that car. That's going to say, I don't know how my DNA got in there, but it's there. Someone that is completely disassociated with this case. All that's going to prove, members of the jury, is that
Multiple
Hakeem
people do.
Robinson, Leroy Whitaker, Torgon Williams, they're all friends and that they know each other. He told you that car was had been reported stolen for 2 months. They had been all in and out of that car. That DNA and that fingerprint does not place him in the car on the day of the murder. You're going to hear about all of the DNA that they have been unable to identify or match with someone else. But members of the jury, what I do want you to know is, even though Hakeem hung out with all these guys and he grew up with them and stuff, Hakeem was different because he was making it. Charles McCormick, they said he put out that song. He didn't put out a song. I mean, no one knew about that song. I mean, he tried to release it. He wasn't on the level of Hakeem Robinson, aka, you're going to hear this name a lot throughout the course of the trial, Queso.
Nah.
What you're going to hear, members of the jury, which is going to be very important. 4 days before the murder of Charles McCormick, Hakeem Robinson was signed to a record label that gave him a $40,000 advance. 4 days before. He was making it. He was leaving. He was doing his music. All of these people, though, they wanted to be around him. They wanted to share in his fame. But Hakeem,
You know, he could be mad at his lawyers and judges and all this shit.
with the wrong people and was friends with them. He is not responsible for what they did in their free time. And even the government, well, I thought the government would agree that you cannot convict someone by association. And that is true, members of the jury. Guilty by association has no place in this courtroom. Mr. Cooper also mentioned something about the social media post. But members of the jury, when you view these pieces of evidence, please take them into context. He said it happened right after he made this post, 7 days after he made this post. Okay? And it's all assumption and speculation.
Stay in school, kids.
He's trying to say that is somehow a confession.
She said guilty by association has no place in this courtroom. Also, man, rapping about bodies and shit. I think motherfuckers need that rapping about bodies don't need to have a place in hip hop.
What we are going to ask, and this is what I'm just going to ask. We are at the beginning of this case. You haven't heard any of the evidence or seen any of the evidence yet. All I ask of you, each of you, is to please just pay close attention and really listen. Because when you strip away all the evidence that isn't either bought with money or the promise of freedom, the truth is going to be staring you right in your face. Focus on the credible, reliable, unbiased testimony from the witnesses, coupled with what you can see right in front of them. More importantly, your common sense. Because that is what you will need to see the truth in this case, because it is not him, members of the jury. Mr. Cooper talked about the fact that this case is going to be a puzzle and that you'll be able to see a picture at the end. But I'm going to tell you this, members of the jury. If one piece of that puzzle doesn't fit, it is not guilty. Do not shave the pieces of those puzzles to try to force it to fit.
One piece of the puzzle don't fit. That's true, though.
Does not match Hakeem Robinson, not even close. Now, members of the jury, there is a reason why the framers of the Constitution, this country's Constitution, ensured that the government would not have too much control over the freedom of the citizens they are meant to protect. And that was by giving the final word, not to the court, not to the state,
but to the people.
But to you. People are innately flawed in that they sometimes can't see the truth when it's staring them right in front of their face, or they can't admit it when they've made a mistake.
We're gonna get into it though, the minute, Jack.
Of this community,
that motherfucker been going on so long, man, motherfucker. It's like, damn.
Who have promised to look at this case through fresh eyes.
It let you know, man, Florida some bullshit though. Y'all can't convict them or let them go and all this time.
Because when you listen to all the credible, reliable evidence in this case, it's only going to prove to you one thing. Hakeem Robinson is innocent. Find him not guilty. Thank you.
Today I'm going to make beans.
One more thing I wanted to get into before we get out of here. This is a quick little live. We was talking about, hold on, let me see. Scotty on trial for Lil Buck murder. Prosecution open statement. Let's see what the prosecution.
We are all gathered here today.
See what the prosecution open statement was, though.
That unfolded on January 15th, 2020. A wicked, premeditated murder, a vile scheme that was birthed by a
She said, I never go to
individuals who collectively
he had a mistrial
and callously worked together to ensure January 15th.
I seen all that. I've been watching it, but I ain't just that shit been going on so long. We're gonna tap into it though.
The murder of Charles McCormick was personal. It was thought out. And it was brazenly executed in broad daylight without any fear of
I hit the motherfucking weights last night.
Why?
I done got back on and I told you I've been going through some little shit, but I ain't fuck this shit. I'm back on the weights. Working out. Did me about 200 push-ups last night. I'm gonna get back to doing like 500 a day. Gonna get heavy on my calisthenics and shit. And I hit them weights. I'm finna buy me some more weights. So hopefully by December, I'll be back on, you know what I'm talking about, shoulders and shit looking, poking out through the shirt, you know. Yeah, forearms and shit looking like, you know, don't play with me. It coming though.
This was a crime committed by family. The names of the guilty: Hakeem Robinson.
Yeah, the D-bag, bro. Be back, bro.
Nickname is Kimi to his family.
Coming soon.
Kiso is
So I'm
rap
finna
name.
start back eating a whole lot more and shit though. You know, just
Co-defendant sitting before him, a cousin,
I gotta put on
whose
about
nickname is
15, 20 pounds.
Dominique Barner,
That's the goal.
whose nickname is Butter.
15, 20 pounds.
Their co-defendant. The only one not related to the
Get back
others
about
by
250.
blood.
270 too much, but I'm gonna get back about 250.
Because
The
for
230 be
years,
having me feeling kind of light in the ass. You know what I'm saying? Being
for
real.
years, they have accepted him.
I gotta
For
get back
years,
about
he
250
is
though, for
one
real.
of them. Abdul Robinson Jr., nicknamed Kareem K. Crazy. Hakeem Robinson's biological brother.
King Robinson.
Hakeem Robinson's mother and Leroy Whitaker's father are siblings. Abdul Robinson Jr., Hakeem's biological brother, Leroy Whitaker's cousin, and Torrigon Williams, another cousin, also played a role in this crime. After the murder of Charles McCormick was completed by Dominique Barner, Hakeem Robinson, and Leroy Whitaker, and they had to flee what they three had just accomplished, their premeditated murder of Charles McCormick, Abdul Robinson Sr., nicknamed Blue,
Oh, okay.
also got involved. That is
Abdul
Hakeem
Robinson.
Robinson's father.
Do it Robinson.
I'm almost like an old man at heart. I don't know
It's
why I've been like
crazy.
that since I was young. Even with producing, I still like making beats.
And he had to come to the rescue of Hakeem Robinson's cousin, Leroy Whitaker, and their friend and their co-defendant, Dominique Barner.
So
As
okay. Dominique Barnes, Leroy Whitaker.
After fleeing with Hakeem Robinson from the murder, trying to escape the police, crashing their car, Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker went one way, Hakeem Robinson went another. And Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker found themselves trapped in a house that Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker broke into to escape the police that were looking for all three of them. Trying to
Stay in school, kids. Pick up a trade.
accountability for the murder they just committed in broad daylight.
Go be a fireman.
And because Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker were trapped,
Go
Abdul
train dogs.
Robinson Sr. had to come pick them up.
Go get your tie shop.
Picked them up and drove Dominique Barner and Leroy Whitaker away from that home, away from the police. And it was during that ride that he found out exactly what happened. But he continued to help them and drove them away.
You later represented defense. She represented KO. So this the state right here. This the prosecution. I played it first. I played the defense first.
Has been shared by every person who has drawn breath in this world. There is a day you are born and a day you die. And between those two moments, the life that unfolds, uniquely shaped by one's choices and one's actions. Some of those choices are more profound than others. Some actions more impactful. But when a group of individuals, even a family, when they come together and intentionally commit a violent crime, a murder, shattering the laws we all share, there must be accountability. And it is precisely for that very reason that in this courtroom, today, 5 years later, Hakeem Robinson and Leroy Whitaker are sitting before you.
That shit crazy sitting up there on that stand, man. I'm telling you now.
With them,
Stay in school,
no one
kid.
scene are two simple but
Or
essential
sitting behind that
questions.
motherfucking handcuff when you hearing these people say this and that about you, and you just gotta sit there and take it and, you know,
Those two questions, which
put
you
your
can write
head down and whisper to your lawyer, ooh, and hand over your face and, you know, keep this shit P and, yeah. They call you everything in the motherfucking book. Yeah, you a low down, rotten, dirty scoundrel. You the worst of the worst. And you gotta be over there with a straight face, no emotion. Knowing they lying on you.
They are desperate to keep hidden from each and every one of you. The truth can be a funny thing. Sometimes, the more out of desperation you try to suppress it, the more the guilty fight and rail against each and every aspect of it, the more obvious it becomes. For example, and I want you to hear these despicable words, let them sink in, because these are the words of Akeem Robinson. Kill a nigga, then go get my toes done.
He already on the rap shit.
Kill a nigga, then go get my toes done. Those are his words that he attached to a video he took of himself.
You know what I'm saying? He over there shaking his head now. You see what I'm saying? You got to look at him. He looking at his accuser though. He looking at the prosecution. That shit's scary. For real. You gotta sit there and shake your head. I'm telling you.
You're gonna see that video. You're gonna read his words. You're gonna see his tired feet.
Look how close he is.
And when you look at that video, you see him. When you see his
You gotta put your hand over your face. You see what I'm saying? I just said this shit.
And let that image, his answer to both of you, all of you, about what he did.
Kill a nigga, then go get my toes done. White man up there get this shit off like that.
These two co-defendants, they shared a motive, they shared a goal, and for their deeds, they will forever share guilt. What was their undoing?
He was practicing that shit for 6 months.
For all of you today. Simply, the combination of arrogance, mistakes, and bad luck. For justice's sake, thankfully, the murder of Charles McCormick was captured on video. Thankfully, these two co-defendants in particular left a trail of overwhelming and inescapable evidence in their violent, chaotic wake.
A trail.
Evidence that is much like an avalanche, quickly gaining momentum until that evidence ultimately and unavoidably catches up and buries all doubt in this case. So what kind of evidence are you going to hear? Are you going to see? Evidence in virtually every form imaginable. You're going to see evidence, you're going to hear evidence directly related to the motive in this case, because it was a personal motive, and we'll talk about that in a moment. You're going to see the video of the murder, and that video is a powerful piece of evidence, because not only does it capture the murder,
Stay in school, kid.
the vehicle that was used by Dominic Barner, Akeem Robinson, and Leroy Whitaker when they committed this crime, a stolen Nissan Altima. And you will see that vehicle on video. And there will be no doubt that that vehicle was occupied by the people who committed this crime. And that vehicle was collected, well, evidence and sign was collected immediately after this crime, immediately after they fled from committing the murder from the police. When that car crashed, and inside it, amongst the items that were collected, DNA evidence. DNA Leroy Whitaker and Hakeem Robinson. Fingerprint evidence for Hakeem Robinson. DNA fingerprints forever tethering them to that car, to their crimes.
Today we are setting up this Chick-fil-A employee for anything she wants. You could pick any item you want. I'll go get it for you. What have you always wanted?
You will also see on that video of the murder exactly what the shooter was wearing. And I want you to pay particular
I
attention
mean,
to
just
it,
looking at, bruh,
because this is a video, not a still photograph.
I can't just really
You'll be
tell.
seeing the whole thing.
No.
And you will see that the shooter was wearing a two-tone hoodie, gray chest, dark black arms, black hoodie pulled up over his head. And I want you to take note of that, because you will see that same hoodie in photographs and videos wrapped around Hakeem Robinson's guilty body. You will see the distinct firearm that he carried when he committed that murder.
Right,
when he
his
pulled the
guilty
trigger.
body.
And you will see that same firearm in another video in Hakeem Robinson's hands. Not for entertainment. He used it for murder on January 15, 2020. You also will be presented with call records showing communication amongst these co-defendants and cell site location information, placing Leroy Whitaker, placing Hakeem Robinson where they should not have been, placing them where they guilty. You will see social media posts in addition to the nail salon video that we've already talked about. Another video posted to Hakeem Robinson's Instagram account just a couple days after the murder. A video of Charles McCormick rapping a song. But when you get to Charles McCormick in the video and you see his face, what's added? And emojis with the text, bye-bye. And then that's followed up by the nail salon video that we've discussed, where he needed to get his toes done. What I want you to remember, because there is going to be so much evidence in this case against both defendants, and so many different types of evidence, that it's much like a puzzle. While they're powerful on their own, independently, when you put them together, and they come together so easily, so intuitively, when you put these pieces together, you will be presented with the truth of January 15, 2020. And that will be a picture showing each and every one of you who committed this crime. And what will be staring back at you will be the crystal clear pictures of Hakeem Robinson and Leroy Whitaker, just as clear as if you were to turn your gaze over there at this very moment.
Okay, so
One of the
suppose.
key pieces of evidence
Okay, never
that
mind.
exists, as I have said, is the video recording of this murder. That video recording exists because Victor Kruger, a citizen, has nothing to do with this, just happened to have a dash cam in his truck. It just happened to be parked at the right place at the right time. That video is completely independent, wholly unbiased, and incapable of lying. It just captured what happened in high definition for each and every one of you to see. And so, when you watch that video, I want you to trust your eyes. Because again, it's not a single photo. It is a video that shows in detail as Hakeem Robinson, who was the shooter in this case, tracked Charles McCormick down on foot and executed him. Now,
Man, if it ain't about no money,
Each and every one of you individually.
if it ain't nothing for real, man, the sensitive shit, this how sensitive shit get you facing life and murder or death penalties and shit like this.
Position Victor Krueger found himself when he witnessed Charles McCormick's final terror-filled seconds on this earth. But you will get to watch that video from the safety of this courtroom. And I want to be very clear.
And really, sometimes money ain't even worth a nigga winding up in this position right here, though. For real, for real. With your life on the line. Because at the end of the day, he gone, and you facing a elbow. Was it really worth it just for a nigga saying, man, shit, nigga play with me, man? Nah, man, we gotta move smoother.
It's going to be very, very powerful.
The object is still to get the money. So if you kill a man, you can't get the money.
Based on the location of the camera, it does not capture the shooter's face. Just didn't. But it's okay, it didn't have to.
Oh, it's okay.
It captured more than enough detail.
It's okay.
That video, along with all of the other evidence in this case, will make it crystal clear that that individual was Hakeem Robinson. I don't expect that there will be any debate that what happened to Charles McCormick on that video is anything other than first-degree murder. I don't believe that will be a debate. The only question in this case for you to decide who's responsible. That is it. Bringing us back to those two very simple questions. Where were they and what did they do? What was the motive? Why did this crime take place? To fully understand that, why the crime took place, and the significance of the day, you have to know what happened exactly 1 year prior, on January 15th, 2019. January 15th, 2019, Willie Addison, whose rap name is Boss Moon, was in a vehicle with family when shots rang out. Willie Addison was struck and ultimately died as a result of his injuries. But he wasn't the only one in the vehicle. Also inside the vehicle on January 15, 2019, Abdul Robinson Sr., Hakeem's father. Because you see, Willie Addison, Abdul Robinson Sr.'s stepson. He raised him as his own son. Willie Addison, Robinson's brother.
Wow.
Also in that vehicle, Abdul Robinson Jr.
Wow.
Hakeem's other brother. Gilroy Whitaker's cousin. And Abdul Robinson Jr. was struck in the head. He survived, but he suffered lasting effects that would prevent him from running down his target a year later. Physical limitations that Hakeem Robinson and Leroy Whitaker did not share. Also in the vehicle, Torgon Williams, their cousin, and a couple of others.
What kind of good is in the van one?
Neither Hakeem Robinson, Leroy Whitaker, or Dominic Barner were in the car when those shots rang out on January 15, 2019. It didn't matter. Because it was still their family in that car. It was their family whose blood was spilled.
Do you have a car? Do you have a clean driving record? Did you know that you could pay as low as $39 a month in...
Physical injuries sometimes can heal. Physical pain can diminish. But memories, a vendetta, that lasts someone's lifetime. Now I want to be very, very clear. McCormick's sin, what made him a target, was that he was affiliated with people who are part of another local rap, 6 Block. And 6 Block and ATK are rivals. They don't like each other. They hate each other. And
6 Block. Is that what Julio Fulio was?
Is producing rap music, drill rap, diss songs that make fun of or talk disrespectfully about members of their ops, the other group who have been shot and killed. And so, following that tradition, Charles McCormick in 2019 put out a song, and that song referenced the shooting of Willie Addison. And as you can imagine, that is not something that either Hakeem Robinson, Leroy Whitaker, or their family were happy about. So, Charles McCormick became a target, an easy target. He's the ops. This was about sending a message. Because not only was it personal, but it's about respect. And we aren't going to let our ops sing songs like that, not about our family. That is why Charles McCormick was targeted. So on January 15, 2020, 1 year anniversary, Willie Addison's death, Charles McCormick walked out of his apartment on Atlantic Boulevard, made his way to his car, and then drove to Express Employment, a temp agency located on the Merrill Road shopping plaza.
Young niggas really don't even be having no
because he had just been selected for a new job.
real plan.
Charles McCormick needed to get the details to start that new job. But when he drove there, he had no idea that in a Nissan Altima, he was being stalked by Hakeem Robinson, Leroy Whitaker, and their good friend Dominique Barner, who was driving both of them, pursuing Charles McCormick from his apartment complex all the way up to the Merrill Road shopping plaza. And they pulled in, and they saw that Charles McCormick parked his car and had walked into Express Employment. But what did they do? They waited. Hakeem Robinson with his X-Star model rifle, Leroy Whitaker with his AR-15 rifle, both loaded, rounds chambered, ready to fire. Because the plan at that point was when Charles McCormick walks out, Hakeem Robinson, Leroy Whitaker will jump out of that stolen Nissan Altima, their rifles, and gun him down. And Dominique Barner, their friend, will pick them up and drag them out of there. But they had to wait. And they had to wait. And as they waited, Dominique Barner decided it was better to reposition their vehicle. So he was actually able to drive over to where...
Jump in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. K.O.S.O. on trial along with his cousin.
And then, just around 11 a.m. that morning, a Wednesday morning,
Appreciate that TB21.
Charles McCormick
Hit that like button for me. Definitely appreciate it.
got a red folder with the paperwork and the details so he could start his new job. And with that red folder in his hand, he said his goodbyes. This Saunders, who owned that agency at the time, was a friend of his grandmother. Said goodbye to her and opened the door and began to walk outside. When Charles McCormick
We
did
back
that,
in Jacksonville with
all he
it.
had in his hand was that red folder. And that red folder represented the promise of employment
I got one more clip I want to show y'all before we get out of here. I'm probably gonna jump back on this today. I'm definitely gonna jump back on the trial. But it was something I was talking about last night. And the nigga done said something about it. Not him in particular to what I was saying, but just in general.
The bright light of the morning sun warmed his skin, saturated his eyes, and fresh air filled his optimistic lungs. For a few seconds, Charles had no idea he would never get to start that new job. There would be no more birthdays to celebrate. He wouldn't see or talk to his mother again. He had no idea there were seconds left to believe in it tomorrow.
Also, when you get a chance, go check the coverage on the case so you can be up to speed when we come back with, because I think part 2 of it starts today. This is just a recap from yesterday.
Charles McCormick to make it back to his car, where he was going to then hop out and shoot him, so he could easily drive away. Couldn't wait to get to his site. So he hopped out early and chased Charles McCormick down with foot. And when he got out of that car, you will see in the video, again, two-tone hoodie, gray chest, dark black arms, dark hood pulled up over his head. Not out of shame, but an attempt to steal as much of his recognizable face as possible. In his hands, an X-Star model AR rifle pistol, because it's got a very short stock, so it's easier to
XR model.
And I want you, again, to remember that, because you're going to see that same rifle again in a video in his hands. And that rifle was chambered in .223 caliber. And with that rifle in Hakeem Robinson's hands, his eyes locked onto Charles McCormick, their prey, the reason that they were there. His finger caressed metal trigger to his rifle.
Well, it'll be good to show guns on social media.
That trigger represented the power of life and death for Hakeem Robinson, for his co-defendants, for the plan that they came up with to murder Charles McCormick. And so intentionally, deliberately, Charles McCormick, as he tried to run away, Hakeem Robinson pulled the trigger. And when he pulled that trigger, a deafening sound thundered through the air as the gunpowder inside the chambered .223 caliber round ignited, propelling his round, their will, out of his barrel.
Look how you looking at him.
At thousands of feet per second.
Ignite the fairway
with fireball.
Jiminy
His
Cricket,
round.
You don't even have a club
His
in your hand.
trigger pointing at him.
Charles McCormick did not stand a chance. As he turned to run, first back towards Express Employment, and then
Yeah, Miss
around
Murphy, they
the
definitely
side.
gotta learn to stop putting buku shit on social media, man. Cause it might not hurt you
When he was
today,
struck by one of those
but
rounds,
shit, tomorrow it
it
will.
fell to the ground.
Might not hurt you today, but it could be a case next year.
His hunter, designated executioner, never stopped pursuing, and he was on him seconds. This entire lasted about 10 seconds, or less. He's on top of him, with his rifle pointed at Charles McCormick. He's on the ground, injured, unarmed, defenseless, in need of some mercy.
Y'all do me a favor, get them likes
There would
up.
be no mercy. Not
Get the likes up. Get the likes up for me. Get the likes up.
with
Couple more
helpers
people in the room.
and to
The
fulfill
like button
the
don't
plan
cost you
for
shit.
murder that they collectively came up with and were participating in. Hakeem Robinson pulled the trigger over and over and over and over again. And each and every pull of that trigger resulted in hot metal carrying in to Charles McCormick's body. Hot metal slashing open his flesh. Hot metal ripping through his muscles. Hot metal blowing open his skull.
When you come back in, get the likes up. Hit that like button.
Brain matter.
Go out, come back in. Go out, come back in. Tap the like button.
Tissue, blood, metal fragments, and ejected shell casings left littering the ground. 23 years of life undone in an instant.
Okay, I got one more clip I want to show y'all before I get out of here.
Seconds ago, Charles thought that he had a future. Obsolete, meaningless, discarded, on the ground, soaking in his blood. It took Hakeem Robinson, Leroy Whitaker.
Alright, this goes back to what I was talking about last night. And he did a new interview. So I definitely want to play the interview of what he said overnight. He took that one down. But this is in the correlation to Birdman, Cash Money. Let me see if it's still up. I think this is right here.
What's up? What's up? It's your man Tech, aka Flex, and I'm coming here because I wanna address a few things that's been thrown out there. But before I do, I just want to say thank you to everybody that wished me well and genuinely cared about me. You know, like I told
Nah,
you
that ain't
before,
it.
I'm doing dialysis.
Remember I asked the question, should Birdman be worried? Because this dude that came out and said Birdman had something to do with let me go to his page. Y'all. Hold on, just give me 1 second. He had it on his page. It's Cliff dude. And it's just about
family. So it's looking like the late rapper.
just about doing too much on the internet, man. Damn, that's crazy. I don't even see the shit no more.
All right, you two fat.
That's wild. Let me see. Oh, this day 2. They got day 2 going on.
Today I'm going to make a beat. We're going to Output's new plugin co-producer.
Day 2 already going on.
It's going to
Timberlane, somewhere within the front door. Yes. At some point, did you stop working in that field?
Fuck it. We're on day 2.
All right, Miss Saunders, if you'll... No, that's not her. All right, Miss Saunders, if you'll come forward and be sworn. The witness stand is right there in the middle of the floor. Thank you. If you will, please sit up close and speak clearly and loudly into the microphone, ma'am. Thank you. You may proceed.
Would you please state and spell your name for the record?
My name is Tashita Saunders. That's capital T-A-C-H-I-T-A. Last name is Saunders, S-A-U-N-D-E-R-S.
Ms. Saunders, do you live in Jacksonville?
I do.
And approximately how long have you lived in Jacksonville?
I've been here 20 years.
And do you have any children?
I do.
How many?
3.
And are they all currently in college?
They are.
And what do you do for a living today?
Medical sales.
And how long have you been in sales?
25 years.
Now, at some point, did you stop working in that field?
I did.
And approximately when was that?
2017.
And what did you do in 2017?
I invested in a franchise, a staffing agency.
And what was the name of that staffing agency?
Express Employment.
And
Make sure y'all tune in.
Express Employment located.
The trial is going on right now.
And that's here in Duval County, Florida?
Yes.
Now, what
Like I said, I'm gonna jump back on her later on,
It's an employment agency.
and we'll get into it. Hopefully, y'all everything going well. Enjoying your morning. You made it to work safe. You got you a good breakfast in you, or a good smoothie, or protein shake bar, anything of that nature, man. Stay hydrated. It's hot outside.
Yes.
And is that your business at the top, to next, I guess, on the right-hand side of that plaza?
Correct.
And were
Pay
you working
attention
at
while
that location
driving.
the
Don't
morning
have
of
your phone in your
January 15th,
hand.
Yes, I was.
And you know,
Now, were you by yourself?
we'll be back on her later though.
I had one other employee there.
And do you recall who that was?
Yes. Melanie Coleman.
And
Hope all
did a
is
person named
well,
Charles
though.
McCormick come to your business that morning?
Yes.
Did you personally know